This is Michael Gerace with Michelangelo's Plumbing. It is November 14th, 2022. We're performing a video sewer inspection through the 4-inch ABS plastic mainline sewer cleanout at the left front corner of the house. And we are at 1623 1623 Reeves Drive in Los Angeles, California. We're going to begin running through the 4-inch ABS plastic cleanout. This is the front of the house. Going out toward the street. We're going to set our camera at the top of the mainline cleanout and zero out our camera monitor. And we're going to begin running our camera through the ABS plastic cleanout. We have a section of ABS plastic cleanout and we transition immediately to vitreous clay. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We had several root intrusions. This is after hydrojetting. I'm going to go slow. We have a major offset right here. You can see there's a very large shift in the pipe. We'll be dropping down into the pipe. Running out toward the next joint. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Next joint, we had some fairly large root intrusion, and it appears that we may have a little hairline crack inside possibly, or it may just be a marking on the piping. We'll blow that up on our laptop back at the office to take a better look at it. Could be just a marking in the piping, very difficult to tell. Going to continue pushing out. And we had a lot of root intrusion in the property sewer line in this area. Coming up to a joint where we had a lot of root intrusion, we have a crack. Pull back a little bit. There's a crack in the bottom of the pipe about maybe 2 inches before the joint. We're going to push in very slowly. Down at about the 6 o'clock area, we have a major crack in the piping down below. We have root intrusion off to the left at about the 9 o'clock area. And it looks like we have a crack going all the way across from about the 8 o'clock area to about the 5 o'clock area. So we're going to continue pushing in. Got some remnants of the roots still in the line from hydrojetting. Now here we had more roots up toward the 9 o'clock area to about the 12 o'clock area. We had a considerable amount of roots in the joint, but not terrible. Continue pushing out. Pushing out toward the sidewalk area now. And we have some cracking up at about the 3 o'clock area. Going back up toward about the 1 o'clock area. Pull back just a little bit, Steve. Going back toward about the 12 or 1 o'clock area on the right hand side of the screen. So we're going to continue pushing in. We're making a slight turn. And looks like we have some cracking right inside the joint. Going from about the 5 or 6 o'clock area and running back up toward about the 12 o'clock area. And that's back just inside the joint. You can see it's pretty pronounced right there. And we have an offset as well. So we're going to continue pushing in. That joint, we have a little bit of an offset there, but not terrible. We're going to continue pushing out toward the street. And this is our 4 to 6 inch city lateral transition. Going to continue to push in. A little bit of an offset in that joint. We had a major crack at the bottom of the piping, which we should be able to see here. This joint had some considerable amount of root intrusion off to the left at about the 9 o'clock area. There was some around the 3 or 4 o'clock area as well. A couple of the joints were completely compacted. Continue pushing out. That joint's a little bit offset, but not terrible. Pushing out toward the next joint. That joint had quite a bit of root intrusion and a little bit of an offset. And looks like we might have some cracking. We have some cracking on the left-hand side of the screen at about the 9 o'clock area, and looks like we might have a little bit of cracking down at the bottom going toward about the 5 o'clock area. Going to continue pushing in. We had a very large crack at the bottom of the pipe in one area. We'll be able to see that. Had very large root intrusion in this joint, and we have some cracking as well. You can see at the bottom at about the 5 o'clock area, going up all the way to about the 3 o'clock area. So we're going to continue pushing in. Coming up to another joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. You can tell if that's cracked right there. Looks like we have a crack on the left side. I'm going to pull back just a little bit. At about the 7 o'clock area, you can see a line, and appears that we may have a crack. We'll blow this up on the laptop as well. Pull back a little bit more. Looks like we may have a line. There might be a crack right there in the bottom, and it may have been how the camera went in. We saw it very clear. That looks like the same crack that we saw earlier. We're just in a little different position because we had a mini cam running. Pull back some more. This looks like the same crack we saw earlier. And it's running all the way along the bottom of the pipe on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, go back in. It was about 3 feet, 4 feet that we could really see pronounced. And we'll blow that up as well. Yeah, you can see it on the left hand at about the 7 o'clock area. Going to continue running in. A little bit of a gap in that joint, not terrible. Appears that we have a crack on the left-hand side still running out on the left-hand side. And looks like we have another one right in the center of the monitor. As I said, we'll blow this up and take a really good look at it. Going to continue to run out. We're running out toward the city sewer. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Really hard to see sometimes whether it's markings or a crack. As I said, we blow it up back at the office and we can see it clear. We're going to try and run the mini cam on the way back. I think some of these areas are markings. Going to continue to run out. We're making a turn. And that's the fitting before the saddle area. Saddle area's got a shift in it. You can see primarily almost the whole face of the pipe on the left hand side. Making our turn, and right here is the city sewer tie-in connection, about 58 feet 4 inches on the camera monitor. We're going to go ahead and rinse our camera lens real quick. Just going to rinse our camera lens, and we'll pull back and take another look. And then we're probably going to run our mini camera. We'll see what we see on the way back. Pulling back, and there's the edge of our city sewer. And there's the offset at the saddle area. A little bit of an offset in that joint, but not terrible. It's minor. Pulling back. All right. Okay, we're going to continue pulling back. About 25 feet or so where we really saw that crack when we were pulling out earlier. Primarily trying to see where the large crack is. As I said, there's markings there. Appears to be a crack, but may just be markings. But we'll take a good look at that. Got a lot of sewer gases floating around right now, so it makes it a little difficult to see too. We're in the street. We're pulling back. And the area that had the large crack was under the sidewalk area. Continue to pull back. Go back in. Yeah, we have a little crack inside the face of the pipe here, and it's kind of broken on the face as well, and it's going up toward about the 3 o'clock area in that joint. We're going to continue pulling back. A lot of root intrusion in that joint. That joint was compacted. And we have more markings on the sides of the pipe. Could be a crack. Had a lot of root intrusion in that joint. Continue to pull back. Looks like there's a crack off on the side of the pipe, on the left hand side of the pipe, and we're pulling back now. If this is it, we had about a 3-foot crack, and you can see that line in the piping. That's a crack coming all the way back to the joint. I'm going to pause for one moment. We're going to locate this area. Go back out right past the joint. Okay, we located this area, and we are at approximately 5 feet 1 inches deep, and that's right underneath the sidewalk where we saw it before. So we're going to continue to pull back, and that's the crack. We had a lot of root intrusion in that joint. We're just going to continue pulling back now. Then we're going to run our mini cam real quick. we've already looked at all the joints. We're just going to continue to pull back, then we'll insert our mini cam and take another look at it. Okay, we're going to disconnect cameras. We're going to pause for one moment, insert the mini cam. Okay, we're going to insert the mini cam. We're going to zero out right at the opening to the cleanout. We're going to insert the mini cam and take a look. Little offset there. Not bad. The joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. The joint's got a little crack going around it from about the 7 o'clock area toward the 12 o'clock area. Like I said, we had a lot of root intrusions in some of these joints. This joint had a lot of root intrusion. And this joint does have the crack at the bottom, about the 7 o'clock area. Cracks aren't terrible in certain areas at this time, but they're going to let the roots in and you're going to have to maintain it. Had quite a bit of root intrusion in that joint. It should be coming up to the area where that joint had a lot of cracks up toward the top at about the 3 o'clock area, around all the way to about the 11 o'clock area. Mini cam, you get a little bit different view on it sometimes. This joint's got a crack and an offset going from about the 4 o'clock area around toward the 11 o'clock area. Cracked all the way around. That joint didn't appear to be terrible condition. Should be coming up toward our area. We have the crack in the 6-inch lateral. A little bit of an offset there, kind of sticking on it. That joint had a little root intrusion. Not terrible. That joint's got a little bit of an offset. Again, not terrible. What we can see right there. That joint had quite a bit of root intrusion. Looks like we might have some cracks in the bottom of the pipe here. Keep going, Steve. Quite a bit of root intrusion in that joint. I'm going to pause for a moment, locate this area. Okay, we're in the street about 2 feet. We're going to continue to push in. Let's take a look at the line. Going toward the city sewer now. A little offset in that joint. Again, not terrible. These look like markings on the pipe. They don't look like cracks in the mini cam, but again, it's hard to tell. We'll take a look at it. It could be hairline cracks. We'll blow it up on the laptop and take a good look at it. Pull back a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, go ahead. I'll go in. Go ahead. Go on in. See. Keep going. See right here. Keep going. Appears to have a hairline crack at the bottom of the pipe. Again, we'll blow that up on the laptop and we'll take a good look at it. Going to continue running in. And coming up to our turn to our city sewer. And we have an offset there. Offset at the next joint. Large offset at the saddle. And that's city sewer at 57 feet. We're going to rinse our camera lens off now, and then we're going to pull back. We want to check the area at about 30 feet. We're going to get a little bit different reading on the mini cam as we do the large cam. The mini cam is going to kind of work back and forth like a snake a little bit because it's a little bit lighter cable. We're just going to pull back all the way to about 30 feet, and we're going to take a good look at that one area. We had some root intrusion in the 6-inch vitreous clay lateral. Wasn't terrible, but we did have one joint that was pretty well compacted, but it's not broken. Keep going back. That joint's cracked and had a lot of root intrusion. Had a lot of root intrusion in that joint. Go back out. See the crack right there? See what it is rolling up here. That's where the crack's starting. Go on back out a little bit. The crack's starting at about the 8 o'clock area. Kind of hard to see, and I can see it now. If I follow it, it's going toward about the 9 o'clock area. And we're running out. Keep running out. I can put my finger on it. About 2 to 3 feet. We're going to just check this area real quick. I'm sure we're right under the sidewalk. I'm going to pause for a moment. Okay, we've located this area, and it's under the same area of the sidewalk at 5 foot 3 inches deep. Kind of hard to see too with the glare from the sun right now. Try something. No, worse. Keep pulling back. You can see the crack up at the top of your screen. We're going to pause for a minute. You see it, Jeremy, right here? See the crack right here? Keep going. Keep pulling back, Steve. That crack runs all the way to the face of the joint. You got about a 2 foot to 3 foot crack in that section of piping underneath the sidewalk. And that's in the lateral. We're going to continue to pull back, and we had a lot of root intrusion in that joint. And that joint was one of them that was pretty well packed. Pulling back, and that's the 4 to 6 inch city transition from the property line to the city lateral. We're going to continue to pull back. As I said, we had a lot of root intrusion, and we had the crack here at this joint from about the 5 o'clock area going all the way up to about the 12 o'clock area. That one we also have a major crack going from, we can't tell for sure, but it's going up toward the 12 o'clock area from about the 5 o'clock area. Go back in. Is that a crack too, I think? Might be a crack there from the 3 o'clock to the 12 o'clock area. We'll blow that up. It appears that there is a crack right there. A lot of these cracks aren't major at this time, but the roots are going to keep growing back through. You can maintain it all you want, but eventually you're going to have to repair it. I have a crack here going from the piping at about the 7 o'clock area up toward the 12 o'clock area. Had a lot of root intrusion in that joint. A lot of root intrusion in that joint as well. We don't want to over jet it and try to get every little hairline root out, because then we'll do more damage than anything else. We recommend, if you're going to try and maintain it, put root X down the toilet. ROOTX. Looks like we have a crack from the 3 o'clock area going all the way around toward about the 8 o'clock area. Can continue to pull back. The joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Coming back toward our cleanout, we're going to transition back to ABS plastic here in a moment. Another joint. Looks like we might have a little crack in that joint as well. Possibly from the 6 o'clock area. It's hard to tell if that's the face of it or if that's a crack. Again, we'll blow it up and we'll take a good look at it. That joint's got a minor offset but still in maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in maintainable condition, a little bit of an offset. Pulling back and up and out of our ABS plastic mainline sewer cleanout. Now we'll conclude our video sewer inspection. Thank you.